Project XYZ says you don't need to own a business. Oh, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. We're done. So when I was like 16, I discovered entrepreneurship and saw it was a way to become a valuable person. It's not the only way, but it's a way, sure. I always had very low self-worth, and I liked how influencers who sold me the entrepreneurship dream made me feel special for not being like the employed brokies. Brokies? Okay, broke people, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
So I spent 10 years isolated trying to make it big, didn't go out, didn't make any friends except for a few other dream catchers, but
Dream chasers.
dream chasers. But for the past few months, I picked up a few new hobbies, met a lot of people. All of them are employed. And it turns out there aren't losers at all, despite what the influencers told us, yada, yada. Okay, so this is a rant against entrepreneurism because you were sold a bill of goods.
So you saw the name that was in there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always had very low self-worth, and I liked how the influencers who sold me entrepreneurship dream
the influencers, yeah.
early A. Tates.
Oh, I completely skipped over that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, yes, people like that,
Yeah.
they are not selling you entrepreneurship. Now, if you compare like the Andrew Tates of the world to the Alex Hormozis, or like some of the people that have actually made it by building businesses, not by being cocky kickboxers, they're two totally different things, right? So there are influencers that are actually helpful and trying to help you. And then there are influencers that are absolutely taking advantage of you. And if you decide to listen to the ones that are selling you on some digital course that really doesn't have a path moving forward, yes, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
If you listen to the guys that, or ladies, whatever, that teach you how to buy and build businesses and literally are showing you how to do it or how they did it, right? At least you have an idea of the work involved, right?
And, you know, entrepreneurship is not ever, well, I shouldn't say ever, but it's very rarely a one and done. It's a process. It's something you go through. You'll go through multiple businesses. You'll go through multiple ideas. You'll go through multiple decades in some cases before you actually make it work for yourself.
Yep.
That's the reality of it. Okay. And all along, we always talk about your learning and this and that and the other. It's very, very rare that, well, let me put it this way, right? We'll go back to the gold rush, right? I bring this example up every once in a while. Go back to the gold rush. What happened during the gold rush in the 1840s? People went out west, started, mining for gold, et cetera, et cetera. You know who got rich? The people selling the pickaxes and the dynamite. They're the ones that got rich. So I always go back to that. I say, if someone is selling you on an idea, why aren't they just doing it themselves? Right? Why are you so lucky that if you pay them $500, you'll get their idea and be successful? It just, you got to think, it just doesn't work like that.
It's even better when you can then resell their idea.
Yeah, right, and resell it to somebody else. Exactly.
So I just read the rest of this.
Yeah, good.
At the end of the day, his message is decent because he's saying you don't have to go the traditional route.
Okay.
You don't have to. That's how I'm taking it, right?
Okay.
Because you don't have to go the traditional route of going to college, getting a 9-to-5, making money. You have other options. You can go out and be enough as you are, right? Regardless of what you choose. And this is what I always come back to is, go out and be a landscaper, go out and be a plumber, go out. You don't have to follow the be an entrepreneur or the college route. Like, do what you like. And I will guarantee you in almost every case, there is going to be enough money in that.
Yeah. I just like you, I just read the rest of this. This actually has me upset now. I not at this guy, not at Project XYZ. It's the fact that this is what he was sold. He was told that if you don't, basically it sounds like, you tell me if you agree, that if you don't go out and do this, if you don't go out and do that entrepreneurial dream, you're a loser. Right. That's what it sounds like. That's what he was told.
It's kind of, yeah.
That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
It is.
Entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
No.
It's not.
In fact,
and we're here.
I know a lot of people that never should have started their businesses.
And we're here to help differentiate that, make sure that people understand what it's going to take to get into entrepreneurship, what it's going to take to get into running a business, the late nights and the early mornings and, weekends, what are those, right? So that's absolutely going to be a part of it. And if that's not your cup of tea, cool.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong whatsoever. So that's horrible. I mean, I feel bad for this guy.
And it's funny because that myth of, oh, you can't become rich or wealthy or whatever working for someone else. I'm like, I would beg to disagree because there's a bunch of mailmen that die millionaires.
Yeah.
Right. And what did they do? They delivered mail for 40 years, but they spent their money wisely. They had a good pension plan. They may have had an investment plan. Like you hear it all the time. These stories about, what was a couple of years ago, there was a janitor up in New York. He had worked his entire life as a janitor in this building. And when he passed away, they found out his net worth was like $8 million.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just because he just loved what he did. He loved being in that building. He worked loads of overtime. He made good money doing it. He was smart with his money, got lucky with a couple of investments. But I'm like, it just goes to show you that if the janitor can do it, right? It's more about if you want the lifestyle of flying on private jets and all that stuff, then you're probably going to have to do something more than a 9-to-5 somewhere. But like, if what you want in life is to have a family and go on vacations and just enjoy your life, you can do that working for someone else.
Yeah,
and in fact, you can do it without all the headaches that come with being an entrepreneur.
So let's back up. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. I'll share mine first. Being a business owner is not about, for me anyway, it's not about being able to make a lot of money. And that's a side effect for me. It's a good side effect, but it's a side effect. I like the idea of being in control of building something on my own. That's why I did it. That's why I want to be a business owner. That's why I own multiple businesses. We're building multiple things that I've constructed in my mind that I want to see in the real world. That's why I do it. Right? I'm sure other people have other reasons why they want to do it. I'm curious what yours are. So it's not necessarily about, it's the only way to make a lot of money. Sometimes it's just because that's my expression of creativity in my case.
Yep.
Right? What are your thoughts?
So the reason I switched the type of clients that I had when I went completely out on my own was because I realized that I had the opportunity to help fewer people fail.
Yeah.
Right. So I have taken on clients that I probably never should have taken on just to try to make sure that they don't fail in their business.
Yeah.
And I still think that the vast majority of businesses fail because they improperly market themselves, right? Is they don't realize how many people have to be aware of their business before someone will do business with them.
That's true.
Right. So for me, a lot of it is how many smaller businesses am I helping grow and scale? How many new jobs are we creating? Because 99% of my clients are local businesses. They're in your community. They're in your backyard. They're they're the companies that sponsor your little league team. Right. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right.
But that to me is far more important than like, taking a Fortune 500 company and adding 3% to sales of one of their products.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get a high five and a pizza party. Great. Like who benefits at the end? The shareholders, right?
I'll tell you another part of that too.
So unrewarding.
I'll tell you another part of the rewards is if you're working for a company, who your network is? The people that work at the company. Those are the people you go out with, you hang out with, et cetera, in most cases, right? I mean, you have your friends and stuff, but really the people you see every day are the other people that work in that company, the other employees.
Yeah.
But when you're the business owner, it's not necessarily the case. It's the people you're going out and networking with, the people that the other business owners that are looking for connections and things like that. Like, look how many friends you and I have now, right? From our networking and from our networking efforts. Hundreds. hundreds of people
Yes.
that I can legitimately call friend, that I know I can pick up my phone right now, and if I have a question, they'll answer it. Without question, no. And whether it's a business related question or, hey, let's go have dinner or whatever, I know for a fact I can call probably 20 people right now and get an immediate response.
Yeah.
That's huge. You know, that just, it opens up your world to so many different people and so many different things. And that, I think that's a huge part of it too. You don't get that when you're an employee.
No, so a friend of mine owns a business right up the street. I just got this picture. It's a fire.
Oh, geez.
So now I'm trying to figure out, is the building on fire?
Right.
Or
What is that? Or
something else?
is that the electric cords? Something? Electrical cords?
See, it's one of the things nobody tells you about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with random
Everything.
stuff like this. But it looks like she just texted me again. No, so no, apparently that is a Verizon line.
Oh, okay.
So now my business has no internet, which means people can't send work to us.
You?
Yeah.
That's your office?
No, that's right up the street from my office.
Oh.
But that's where we get our cable from.
So you think your internet's down right now?
It is. She just texted me.
Oh, jeez.
This is the stuff nobody tells you about,
that
right?
You got to deal with, right?
So for the rest of the day, unless they fix that real quick,
yeah,
people are not going to be able to get work to us.
Oh, you don't have a backup plan? You don't have backup like satellite or anything like that?
So we've had it in the past, but there is one computer that is only hardwired, which is where we get all of our print jobs to.
So put a Wi-Fi cable.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Put a Wi-Fi adapter on it.
Correct.
Get yourself a Starlink.
I was going to.
By the way, have you looked into that Starlink?
I have not.
Apparently, every phone in America now can use Starlink.
I thought. Oh yeah. It's the partnership they're doing through T-Mobile, right?
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm curious.
They're testing. Well, not every cell phone.
No, okay,
it has to be.
No, you're right. Not everyone, but most of the newer ones.
Yeah, so
completely different topic. All right. Anyway,
so back when it's funny because when I used to do search and rescue, we would have satellite phones because when you're in the middle of the mountains, Iceland, there are no cell towers up there.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have
Trust
satellite.
me, there's plenty of places in the United States where there's no cell towers.
And it was always interesting. Like same thing when we were out to sea.
Yeah,
there's no cell towers in the middle of the ocean, right? So it was. I think I'm just speculating, but it seems logical that the next step for a lot of communication, especially in areas where like it could cost $3 million to run a wire, it'd be like, here's a satellite box, right? Like it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
I'm a huge proponent. Well, I shouldn't say I'm a huge proponent because I think the more we're digitally connected, the less connected we become.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when I used to take the camper out, one of the things that I would look for on a campsite was the cell signal is poor.
So that the kids couldn't get on the phones.
So nobody could get on their phones. Yeah. My wife, any of that stuff, right? And I would never ask for the Wi-Fi passwords. Like I would go camping to get disconnected, right?
I like that. But now as you become more connected anywhere you want to be, kind of makes it harder.
Yeah, but I would go.
Now you have to go underground to get away from the satellites.
It's gonna be a bunker camping.
All right, Project XYZ. Good luck to you. I get it. You were sold a bill of goods that was absolute BS, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That is not what entrepreneurship is supposed to be about. It does not make you a better person. It does not put you above people that are employed or the brokies or anything like that. That is not what it's supposed to be.
Just put you on a different journey.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Just a different journey to the same hopeful conclusion of having a good life.
Remember that if you have questions or comments, please drop them below and we will prioritize actually answering the questions on these videos.